Welcome to the last of the diet sessions. And for this last session, right the day before I start eating again, I thought we would review the Classic Laddie from Bruichladdich. This is a bottle I've had sitting around waiting for review for at least a year. And you will notice immediately this was a leaker. So nothing more scary than opening a shipment box that smells like leaked whiskey, and nothing more kind of relieving than just finding out it was a very, very leaky bottle. Oh, also, the cork broke. That might have contributed to the leaking. I don't really know. Anyways, let's get this poured. All right, Bruichladdich, of course, one of the major distilleries on Islay. I bought this, well, because I had bought this before and I felt like I hadn't given it a fair shake. The first time I bought this bottle, a couple of years ago, I really, really did not like it very much. And I think, I thought the reason was because it wasn't the Laddie Ten. I freaking loved the Bruichladdich Laddie Ten back in the day. I don't know how many bottles of that, at least 3 bottles of that I bought. It was just so much in the sweet spot of what I wanted from a basic, everyday sipping malt. I love that stuff. And when I bought my first bottle of Classic Laddie, I was immediately disappointed because it wasn't that. But I bought another bottle, and I'm going to try to give this a fair shake and not compare it to, its older brother. What is this? It is all Scottish barley, unpeated, of course. That's standard Bruichladdich. Unchillfiltered, coloring free. That's awesome. And this particular batch is from, I think, January 2022. So relatively recent. No indication of what kind of casks this is. I'm guessing there's a fair amount of bourbon in here. Oh, and bottled at 50% alcohol by volume, which has, I think, earned it quite a large amount of the following that it has. One of the other reasons I bought this was because friends were like, "You don't like the Classic Laddie? What is wrong with you? Go back and try it again. It's so good." So we're going to try it on the nose. On the nose, this is quite nippy. And it's nippy kind of in excess of what you would expect from something at 50%. It just feels like the alcohol is coming through a little bit. And I don't know why. In terms of notes, a lot of vanilla. There's a lot of vanilla on this. But then also just a lot of kind of maltiness. So mashed apples. Orange peel. Also like a little bit of like juice in there too, orange juice. Some sawdust. That's always worrying on a younger malt. White pepper. There's a floral thing in this too. There's a little bit of a field flowers kind of thing. Kind of desserty, like a malted milk balls sort of thing. Maybe that's more s'mores. I mean, I go to Bruichladdich and I expect a kind of a maritime element, which is not really coming through here. There's like one seashell in this, and that's kind of it. I'm also not getting that kind of fun lactic thing that Bruichladdich can kind of do. This is, I mean, if you handed this to me neat, I would have a hard time naming, well, Islay at all, but really not Bruichladdich. There's like a shortbread cookie thing in this. Or actually, Trader Joe's sells these shortbread cookies with a little bit of strawberry like jam stuff on top. There's a little bit of that too. There's like a little bit of like a candied strawberry jam thing. I mean, it's very like malt whiskey. It's a little. There's nothing aside from the nippiness, maybe that sawdusty thing. There's nothing worrying about this, but it's also just doesn't have a ton of personality yet. Let's give it a shot on the palate. So young, oaky, very oaky, slightly rough malt. And I can't tell how much of that roughness is being contributed by the distillate and how much is coming from the wood. I think it's both. The mouth feels, in terms of mouth presence, the mouth feels very good. It's very creamy. But the mouth length is pretty short. And the finish just kind of gets, we'll get to the finish. It gets a little bit like acrid. So notes, lots of vanilla again, apple, pear, like a honey thing, like a wildflower honey thing, but also like actual wildflowers. Kind of grainy, like an oatmeal thing. But then, like, all that's fine. But as it transitions to the finish, it gets like there's this kind of very aggressive sawdust and like shade ginger thing that comes in, which makes like there's some really raw wood on this. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some virgin oak going into this. There's a little bit of like a Lipton's tea thing happening as well, which points in that same direction. Like a little hint of sea salt, but that's it. Some unripe strawberry, maybe. I mean, I've had a lot worse than this. I've had a lot worse than this. But yeah, this is not my... I love Bruichladdich. Do not let anyone tell you that I do not love what Bruichladdich does. I think a lot of their stuff is too darn young and too darn expensive, but welcome to Scotland, and in particular, welcome to Islay. But I do love Bruichladdich. I just don't think I like this Bruichladdich. But we'll add some water. We'll come back to it. 2 squirts, right? Okay. So yeah, diet is coming to an end. I weighed myself this morning. I am down 12 pounds. At least half of that is going to be just water weight. Never get tricked by the water weight thing. Like, I think a lot of people hop on diets. They get the initial whoosh. They pee off 5 or 10 pounds, and they're like, wow, this is great. This is working well. And they a few weeks in, they break. They have some cookies. They gain all that water weight back, and they go, oh my god, like I've gained all the weight back, and they give up. Don't do that. Don't let the water weight play tricks with your head. Anyway, so I'm down about where I want to be. It's time to shut the thing down, and now it's time to gain all of that back, hopefully in the form of squat gains. I really like to be able to squat 2 plates for reps again. But we'll see. I've learned what I needed to learn, and yeah, we'll move on from there. In terms of what I'm going to do next week, once we're back to our normal programming, I do have a big stack of Louisiana rums that I really want to taste through, so I might go there first. I might treat myself. All right, let's get back to this Bruichladdich though. On the nose with water. I mean, okay, so the nippiness I was complaining about on the nose before, maybe that was the oak. It could have been oak, it could have been whatever. It was nippy. That's kind of died down. There's some pepper that's coming out. And a little bit of that Lipton's thing coming out too. That's fine. I don't mind the smell of Lipton's. That's fine with me. The nose wasn't really a problem with this. Let's try the palate. With water, better. Better. It gets a little kind of grainy. A little grainy. But that ginger thing on the back end becomes more of like a candied ginger snaps kind of element, which is great because I like ginger snaps. S tier cookie, fight me. But it still just feels like, you know, a kind of anonymous malty malt with a heck of a lot of very raw oak on it. It just doesn't, there's nothing special about this. Those of you who like it, I mean, okay, you know, it's an available malty malt bottled at 50%. Good mouthfeel. Like I kind of feel where people are coming from. It's more than I want to pay for that, but if you like this, I'm gonna let you like it. That's fine. But for me, like I love Bruichladdich. I don't love this bottling, and for me, that's just not giving me enough Bruichladdichness. I want more sea salt. I want a little bit of like yogurt dumped into here. You know what I mean? Solid, good, but not special. I'm going to give this an 83 plus. 83 plus for Bruichladdich Classic Laddie. And yeah, that's it for the diet sessions. Thanks for watching, and cheers.